Did you know some country borders are so wild they'll make you question reality? I mean, we think of borders as these neat straight lines on a map, right? Maybe a river or a mountain range? Simple. But what if I told you a border could run straight through your living room? Or that you could literally step 21 hours into the future? It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but these places are 100% real. It's like the people who drew these maps just spun a bottle and said, yeah, let's put the line right through that guy's kitchen. Today we're going on a global tour of geopolitical madness. We're not just looking at lines on a map, we're diving into the stories, the history, and the sheer absurdity of the world's most mind-blowing borders. From towns where your nationality changes depending on which side of the cafe you're sitting on, to a piece of land so unwanted that literally no one will claim it. These aren't just geographical quirks, they're living, breathing examples of how complicated and sometimes hilarious human history can be. So, buckle up, because we're about to explore the places where cartography got a little bit tipsy. We'll see how these lines affect the daily lives of the people who live on them, creating situations you have to see to believe. Forget everything you thought you knew about how countries work. This is where the world gets wonderfully, beautifully, and confusingly weird. Let's get into it. Alright, first stop, a place that makes your most complicated relationship status look simple. Welcome to Baarle-Hertog and Baarle-Nassau, a town, or is it two towns, on the border of Belgium and the Netherlands. Now you'd think they'd just draw a line down the middle of the street, right? No, that would be far too logical. Instead, what they have is a geopolitical Jackson Pollock painting. It's a series of Belgian enclaves inside the Netherlands, and some of those Belgian enclaves have Dutch enclaves inside of them. It's like a Russian nesting doll of countries. Imagine this. You wake up in Belgium, walk to your kitchen to make coffee, and suddenly, you're in the Netherlands. The borderline, marked with white crosses on the pavement, slices right through buildings. There are houses where the front door is in one country, and the back door is in another. For tax purposes, your official nationality is determined by which country your front door is in. People have literally moved their front doors a few feet to get a better tax rate. You can't make this stuff up. It's the only place where I'm just popping over to the Netherlands for some milk means walking to the other side of the aisle. And it gets even crazier. Think about the logistics. For years there were different closing times for bars. The Dutch side would close and everyone would just pick up their drinks and move to a table on the Belgian side to keep the party going. You have two different mayors, two police forces, two fire departments, all operating in this chaotic patchwork. It's a testament to human cooperation, or maybe just proof that people will put up with anything as long as they know where to pay their taxes and buy their beer. It's the ultimate, it's complicated status, but for an entire town. Now, let's head to a place where you can literally see tomorrow. I'm talking about the Diomede Islands, located in the middle of the Bering Strait. On one side you have Little Diomede, which belongs to the good old USA. And just 2.4 miles, that's less than 4 kilometers, away you have Big Diomede, which is part of Russia. That's a shorter distance than my daily commute to get a decent cup of coffee. You could probably shout across the water, and someone on the other side would hear you, "Hey Vlad, can you see Alaska from your house?" But here's the kicker, the real mind-bender. The international date line runs right between these two tiny islands. This invisible line separates today from tomorrow, so when it's 10 a.m. on a Saturday on Little Diomede in America, it's already 7 a.m. on Sunday on Big Diomede in Russia. They are 21 hours apart despite being neighbors. Locals call them Tomorrow Island and Yesterday Island. You can stand on a beach in the US and literally gaze into the future. That's a bigger time jump than Marty McFly ever managed. Imagine the family dynamics here. "Hey cousin, what are you doing tomorrow?" "Oh, you mean my today? I'm just finishing breakfast." During the winter, the sea freezes over, creating a temporary ice bridge. In theory, you could walk from the USA to Russia from Saturday to Sunday. Of course, it's highly illegal, and you'd probably be arrested for trying to time travel without a permit. But it's a powerful reminder of how these abstract human concepts, time zones, borders, create the most surreal realities on the ground. Or in this case, on the ice. Okay, from time travel we move to a border that's a little more literary. Let's go to the US-Canada border, specifically the towns of Darby Line, Vermont, and Stansted, Quebec. This is probably the friendliest, most polite border in the world. How do I know? Because they share a library, and an opera house, And the border runs right through the middle of them. It's not a metaphor. There is literally a thick black line painted on the floor inside the Haskell Free Library and Opera House, marking the international boundary. The library was deliberately built, straddling the border back in 1904 to promote unity between the two communities. The entrance is in the US, but the checkout desk and most of the books are in Canada. So, you can walk in as an American and become an international book smuggler just by checking out a copy of The Cat in the Hat. The reading room is a designated international space where you can sit with one foot in America and the other in Canada, which is perfect if you can't decide between celebrating the 4th of July or Canada Day. And then there's the Opera House. The stage is in Canada, but most of the seats are in the United States, so you can watch a Canadian performance from your American seat. It's the only place where the audience is technically in a foreign country from the performers on stage. This whole setup operates on a special legal status, a gentleman's agreement. As long as you enter through the official library door in the US and leave the same way, you don't need a passport. It's a beautiful symbol of peace, but also a logistical headache that only two incredibly polite nations could ever pull off. Now let's talk about a border situation that's less about quirky town planning and more about high-stakes geopolitics. Meet Kaliningrad. If you look at a map of Europe, you'll see Russia, this massive country, and then, way over here wedged between Poland and Lithuania on the Baltic Sea, is this little piece of Russia that looks like it got lost on its way home from a party. That's Kaliningrad. It's a Russian exclave, meaning it's part of Russia, but completely separated from the mainland. It's like Russia's vacation home, but the neighbors are all members of NATO. Awkward. So how did this happen? History, my friends, history. After World War II, this territory, which was once part of Germany and called Königsberg, was handed over to the Soviet Union. When the Soviet Union collapsed, Lithuania and Poland became independent countries, and suddenly Kaliningrad was cut off, an island of Russian territory surrounded by the European Union. To get from Kaliningrad to mainland Russia by land, you have to cross through at least two other countries. It's like living in Hawaii and having to drive through Canada and Mexico to get to California. This little piece of land is a huge deal strategically. It's home to Russia's Baltic Fleet, giving them a year-round ice-free port right in Europe's backyard. For the people living there, daily life is a mix of Russian identity and European proximity. They might shop in Poland for groceries or go to Lithuania for a weekend trip, but they are fundamentally Russian citizens living in a geopolitical pressure cooker. It's a constant reminder that the lines drawn on a map after a war can have consequences that echo for generations, creating a situation that is permanently complicated and strategically vital. For our final stop, we go from a place everyone wants a piece of, to a place no one wants at all. Welcome to Baarle-Hertog. It's a patch of desert, about 800 square miles, squished between Egypt and Sudan. And here's the wild part. Neither Egypt nor Sudan claims it. It is one of the very few pieces of land on Earth outside of Antarctica that is not claimed by any country. It's basically the planet's unclaimed baggage. Why? It all comes down to a classic case of you take it. No, you take it. The confusion started with the British because of course it did. Back in the colonial era, they drew two different borders. In 1899, they drew a straight line that put Baarle-Hertog in Sudan. But in 1902, they drew a new administrative border that gave Baarle-Hertog to Egypt. Now, here's the catch. That second map also gave a much larger, more valuable triangle of land called Halaib to Sudan. Today, both Egypt and Sudan want the valuable Halaib triangle. But the only way to claim Halaib based on one map is to give up your claim on Baarle-Hertog from the other map. So, Egypt says the 1899 border is the real one, which gives them Halaib, and puts Baarle-Hertog in Sudan. Sudan says the 1902 border is the real one, which gives them Halaib, and puts Baarle-Hertog in Egypt. The result? Neither country will touch Baarle-Hertog with a 10-foot pole, because to claim it would be to give up their claim on the much more desirable piece of land next door. So Baarle-Hertog remains in a state of legal limbo, a barren, uninhabited piece of desert that is officially up for grabs, but no one is grabbing. It's the ultimate geopolitical hot potato. So there you have it. From a town split by two nations to a patch of desert claimed by none, the world's borders are so much more than just lines on a map. They are living, breathing stories of history, politics, and human ingenuity, or sometimes human stubbornness. They show us that for every rule we make, there's an exception somewhere in the world that is bizarre, hilarious, and utterly fascinating. These places challenge our ideas of what a country is and prove that reality can be stranger and more interesting than any fiction. These quirks in the system aren't just trivia, they shape the lives of real people every single day. Whether it's choosing which country to buy your groceries in, seeing tomorrow from your backyard, or sharing a library with your international neighbors, these borders create unique cultures and communities. It's a powerful reminder that our world is a complex, interconnected, and often illogical tapestry, woven together by centuries of decisions, conflicts, and sometimes just plain weird map drawing. Exploring these places makes you wonder what other strange and wonderful corners of the world are out there, just waiting to be discovered. The lines we draw might try to divide us, but more often than not, they just create fascinating stories that bring us all a little closer. Which border blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing facts.